Our unconscious patterns and behaviours rule our lives without us even knowing it. They make the majority of our decisions. We think we are in control, but actually it's subconscious patterns, behaviours, and programs. For example, I am a recovering people pleaser. So I used to overextend myself for others. I used to struggle to say no, even when I didn't really want to do it. It was just a reaction, basically. I would just say yes before I'd even thought about the situation and whether I actually wanted to. I would just say yes. And this led to burnout, and I would also start resenting what I had said yes to. I began to look at why I was carrying out this behaviour, and I was quite surprised at what I found once I dug a bit deeper. So, when I was real honest with myself, I asked why I continued to say yes to things that I didn't want to do. And it was because I was wanting to be liked. And this was tied to a fear of rejection. Another reason I would say yes is because I was avoiding confrontation. It was an attempt to protect myself, an attempt at safety, basically, to protect myself from harm. I then looked at my fear of rejection and thought back to when this first occurred, and I allowed the emotions that were tied to that fear of rejection to come up. I did the same with this aspect of me that was wanting to protect myself from harm. When did I feel unsafe in the past? So I tried to trace back to when these patterns and behaviours first began. By finding out the fear and the wound that was there, I was able to work out when this pattern started and then process the emotions that were linked to that wound that I had stuffed down and not wanted to feel. Because when we people please, it is not just, oh, we're being nice. We're not being nice. We're actually manipulating the situation or trying to control the situation because there's something we want to gain or something we want to avoid from the situation. So we are trying to control the situation to serve the outcome that we are wanting. So if you find yourself as a people pleaser, what are you trying to avoid by people pleasing, by pleasing others, or what are you trying to gain by pleasing others? When you start digging a bit deeper, you'll be quite surprised at what comes up. Well, I was anyway. And when you do this, if emotions come up, that is awesome. That is exactly what we're meant to be doing, is allowing these emotions to come up so we can process them and heal them and start behaving differently. I wanted to credit Rachel Fiore and her amazing Metaphysical University, Masters of Self University, for her teachings. That is where I first learnt to look at my behaviours and my programs. So yeah, shout out to Rachel Fiore and her teachings. If you have never heard of MSU, then I will pop a link in the description. You can go check them out. I was a student there for a year and it was hugely transformational. I highly recommend going and checking them out.